Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. And today I actually have important video to you guys, actually very important video that I wish every single player who's looking at Odin and his pre-fight abilities could see, because I did some tinkering, I did some testing, and I did some fact checking. Because obviously, when you look on the paper, having, let's say, 45% attack increase versus not having 45% attack increase seems like a very huge kind of like deal, especially for this young lady who is already a very wonderful champion for running legends. And that seems to be all the craze right now. But how much does it really matter? I wanted to see what kind of difference that would make to run Ghost with her Trinity team, opposed to run Ghost plus Odin, giving Ghost extra 45% attack. How much of a difference that would actually make as you're running through a lane. So, this is what I did. I went to Act 7.11, tried to find a lane. Actually, I had to properly go through like 2 quests to find a lane that I definitely felt as in like would be a very good option for Ghost and fully focus on that. That is another thing. No matter how great it looks on paper, keep in mind that not all lanes are and will be designed for Ghost to run. You'll be lucky if, I don't know, half or a third of the path will be fully ghostable with team setups such as this. But I digress. I found a lane and I wanted to know exactly what difference would there be. So what I did, I wanted to simulate, let's say, pseudo legends run terms. I have a bunch of smaller boosts expiring, so I activated a bit of boosts, kind of like to ump it up. Activated tech special boost, and I'm gonna activate tech special power gain boost as well. Because this is how you would do it in Legends. You would do it with boost, and assumingly my lower boost will account for smaller health pools in 7.1 compared to 7.2. So I think this is a fairly realistic test. And then what I did, and I'm not gonna force you guys to kind of like sit through every single fight, even though they really are not that long. So I run through every single fight on this lane, so 6 fights. I did also do the boss fights, but honestly, I kind of messed up the boss fight on the first run, so I just decided to exclude the boss fights, because before the boss fight, you can swap in and out champions to find the best counter anyways. But yes, so I did the lane with Ghost, all 6 fights, without Odin. And obviously, I'm not a perfect player. I made a mistake here and there, and it didn't go perfect. And that is what I'm going to discuss a bit further as well. But basically, then for a second run, I reapplied boosts to make sure that they do not expire mid-run. I activated Ghost's, sorry, not Ghost, but Odin's pre-fight, giving Ghost the 3 buffs that gives her 45% attack increase. And then went back in and redid all the fights. And what I did afterwards, I basically went through these videos very slowly. And since Legends runs are actually counted by the time fighting right now, that is exactly what I looked at. I looked at exactly how many seconds each fight lasted, added all the times together, and I figured out what the difference basically is. So, let's put this aside. Let's jump back here to this screen. And with that, we can start with the first run. The first run with Ghost Trinity, I spent 36 seconds in Nebula fight, 39 seconds on Luke Cage, blah blah blah. Total fight time from the first run was 4 minutes and 12 seconds. So, had no idea whether that is good or bad, but I must say that this run wasn't as smooth. I made a few more mistakes. I triggered masochism once or twice, and basically I didn't feel that this run went as well, probably because I hadn't played Ghost for a while. But overall, this is a time here. And let's see what were my times adding Odin to the mix. So this is Ghost Trinity plus Odin. Nebula took 4 seconds less. Luke Cage also took 4 seconds less. Vision took staggering 17 seconds less because I got very, very lucky in that fight because he didn't throw a single special attack, so I didn't have to like wait it out, and he was like super aggressive. Then Ghost Rider took a few seconds more, Ultron took 9 seconds more again, and King Groot took actually 8 seconds more. And that is despite the fact that I kind of felt that the second run actually was maybe a bit smoother, but evidently not. So the total difference is 4 minutes and 8 seconds. So it's negligible. I can easily write it off on opponent's AI, how aggressive they are, whether they dash in at you or you need to find an extra opening, whether they kept throwing their special attacks or I didn't have to bother baiting them as much, so and waiting out the opponent's special animation. So there are a ton of different factors outside of your attack rating that go into the fight. And to me, it immediately became clear that all of those are significantly more important. But why isn't there a big difference? You think about it, 45% attack rating. That's a lot, right? That is a lot of extra oomph, so you would do a lot more damage. Well, I'll show you the reason why. It hardly matters whether you do have the Odin pre-fight or not. Maybe it doesn't matter at all. And the reason is, sorry, this has expired. The reason is fairly simple. Is because of these power boosts. Because we can see, for instance, this Ultron fight. Let's see how many special attacks I end up using. So we're going to go in the Ultron fight right now. This is the attempt with Odin. And so I'm going to quickly fast forward, regardless of how the rest of the fight goes. So I drop one special attack, drop second special attack, and drop third special attack. And then I'm going to go find the same fight. And it's going to be pretty much exactly the same thing. I'm going to be dropping, I think I'm here going to end up actually dropping 2 level 2s and 1 level 1, which is why it was quicker. So drop one special attack, second special attack, and third special attack. That's exactly the same thing. So basically both of the fights lasted exactly the same amount of course, so to speak. It took me 3 special attacks to get them down, and whether I ended up dealing 10 or 15,000 damage overkill more or less, it's not really all that relevant. So in 90-something% of the occasions, that extra attack rating on Ghost doesn't really matter. Because the fight looks pretty much exactly the same. Yes, by the time you launch that last special attack with Ghost to take out the opponent's HP bar might look slightly different. Instead of, if you're not running Odin, for instance, then opponent might have 20% HP left, and if you are running Odin, opponent might have 10% HP left, which is the difference, the damage increase that you get from having Odin, because there is some, quite obviously. But when it comes to actually affecting the duration of the fight in the circumstances of a Legends run where you boosted, where you power boosted, everything else, it makes pretty much no difference. So I don't think it hurts to have Odin. Obviously it doesn't. I don't think that if you have decided to ghost the entire path with Odin, with Ghost, right, you shouldn't add Odin. Obviously getting a little bit of extra attack, or 45% of extra attack, is not a bad thing per se. But I do think that if you're doing the same thing without having Odin's pre-fight abilities and without having that extra 45% attack, in between 60% attack from Suicide Masteries, in between the boost that you have put on, and in between how the fight actually works and how long the fight is, based on the fact that you deliver most of the damage using special attacks, it will not really make much of a difference at all. So I do not think that anybody who is going to try to run Legends Run without Odin will be disadvantaged much, if at all. In fact, it might be the smarter play to bring in another champion who can tackle some fights where Ghost might not be great at or something. So that was the point. I know that this entire Odin's pre-fight thing has been a very crazy ride, with stacking them with crazy videos, with how insane it is. And I like that kind of things myself. I genuinely do like, and sometimes it's just worth to take yourself down from all the theory crafting and actually try and see how it ends up working out. Like in this case, it really doesn't matter much. It genuinely doesn't. It's one of those things where, yeah, why not? But you can easily do without. That's what I think, anyways. And yeah, I do think that it is important that people see this screenshot and understand that the difference here in these fights is all down to opponent's AI and how opponents throw their special attacks, or they don't throw their special attacks, whether they dash back in at you, and how well you play, whether you mess out. Because all of the fights, pretty much, I think, maybe with the exception of Vision fight where I saved myself a special attack, were exactly the same structure. I threw exactly the same amount of special attacks in Nebula, Luke Cage, Ghost Rider, Ultron, King Groot fight, so on and so forth. Therefore, dealing extra few thousand damage along the way didn't make any impact on the fight duration or the time I spent on the path. So yeah, that is about it, and I hope you guys have found this video useful. I do think it's quite important to acknowledge what the results here were. And obviously you can feel free to dispute it and say that I'm an idiot and I don't understand anything and 45% attack is insane game breaking or must have kind of thing, or whatever else. That's fine. You are perfectly free to have your opinion, as I am trying my best to present my opinion and my stance on what I think about how impactful is to have Odin alongside Ghost when you boost up Ghost and use power boosts, so on and so forth. Either way, that is it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And yeah, I will catch you guys soon. See ya. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about